advisor who like to take people from poverty to prosperity. A lot of Jamaicans who watching this live right now know RT Boss. By calling them get visa, by getting job and travel.
When you say spiritual advisor, what you mean?
I can see the future to tell people what is in their life. To tell them what I see. Like I can say, Mr. Miller, I see investment of a new house.
Welcome to the channel, everyone. I am the Jamaican Scoop Diva, and the first thing we're going to be discussing is RT Boss on Entertainment Report on TVJ. RT Boss is an actual what we call a reader man, aka Obia man, aka spiritual leader. And whilst in his interview, he was asked what does his work entail, and his response was that it entailed milk baths, sacrificing goats, summoning ancestors from a different spiritual realm, etc. And people, we have to admit, it does sound a little bit scary. One of the things that stood out the most about this interview was when he was asked whether or not he was telling the truth regarding being Spice's spiritual leader. He was asked this question because he has always claimed to be very instrumental in Spice's success in her musical career. He even continued to state that he was actually financing Spice's career back in about 2011, claiming that he had a wholesale and a cash pot business in Central Village. And when asked these questions, he responded saying, yes, it is true, and that if it weren't true, why isn't he being sent a cease and desist letter? Why isn't he being charged for defamation, etc.? And it also leads you to wonder this. Is Spice ashamed of having a spiritual leader, or aka an Obia worker or a spiritual advisor? Is she trying to hide the fact that yes, she did in fact use his so-called, I guess you'd call it, talents to better herself? Another factor that was raised in his interview with Anthony Miller was about his credibility. He was questioned whether or not he was concerned about losing trust and credibility among his potential clients, seeing that he had went out and exposed Spice as having an Obia worker or a spiritual advisor helping her in her business. And his response to that was saying no, he wasn't concerned, because he's saying that since he exposed Spice, he ended up getting the ear of the public, and as a result got more clients, got fame and popularity, was able to become a dancehall artist, and has since then released dancehall music, which he is now claiming to be hotter than Spice's. I don't know, who knows? And so he's saying no, he's not concerned about that, because in his opinion, it all worked out well for him, and he's in fact pleased with his decision. Now, as for the public's reaction to this interview, I think it's safe to say that most persons are not convinced. In fact, they believe that he may be misguiding a lot of vulnerable people who are out there looking for some kind of a quick fix to their issues. Also, a lot of people feel like he was just out of line for taking credit for Spice's success. What I have to say about all of this is the same thing that he has to say. At the end of the day, he doesn't care if it's right or if it's wrong. What he's more concerned about is his cash and his income. And as far as he's concerned, it's working for him. People love the humor, people love the excitement. And, you know, I believe him to be quite entertaining. Whether or not his predictions are valid, people seem to like him and he seems to be making his money. But what I will tell the public is just check your source and be careful.
Kaya SkiMask, me a chippy, me not a friend from you. From day one, you little boy. And that's why me dwelling I darkness. I'm not video this and tell him. You know, I'm a friend from you. From day one. You know, so if I want me stop like you're sitting them. I'm sit down for my name like you know, a pussy. I'm a friend from you, SkiMask. Bumble. Mr. Remember what you not tell me say? If you add SkiMask, I say, who is SkiMask?
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Well, I think I did Voldemort name SkiMask, so they run go tell Voldemort to me over here, say, who is SkiMask? Him beat up her and follow me.
So the next thing that I will be discussing is the World Dawg versus the 1SkiMask saga. World Dawg is a comedian that's been in the industry for quite some time and he is quite popular. Ski Mask is a brand new artist that actually emerged from the Voldemort persona. Voldemort is quite a popular and successful comedian. He's quite young, and what he has done is now give birth to 1SkiMask, a dancehall artist from his success from being a comedian. And they're two different personalities. Voldemort is a comedian, 1SkiMask is a dancehall artist, and I think his song is called Darkness or something like that. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but I will put the footage on the screen so you can search him up further. Now, I don't know if the term beef is appropriate in this context, seeing that 1SkiMask has not yet responded to World Dawg's disrespect online, which I believe is actually the best approach. Now, what happened is that some time ago, World Dawg was doing a live. He was then reached out to by his fans to link 1SkiMask. He in return responded saying that he doesn't know who that is. He also went ahead to further disrespect him. You know how people are, especially with Jamaicans. And when it was brought to 1SkiMask's attention, he responded by blocking World Dawg. World Dawg was not pleased about this, and he went on an entire rant talking about his success, talking about his credibility in the streets, talking about a lot of things which I find to be completely irrelevant. You either want to link him on live or you don't. You see, the thing is, you either like him or you don't. You either respect him or you don't. You either know him or you don't. But the constant disrespect, the bickering is completely uncalled for. There is no need to be bitter about someone else's success. There's no need to be rude about it. The industry is big enough for everyone to get a slice of the success cake. Now, I understand it's a phenomenon. He may not have seen Voldemort in that light, but I did take the liberty of listening to his music, and I was quite pleasantly surprised. It sounded really good. He's talented, and that's something you can't take away from him, despite the fact he's not been in the industry as long as others. But he's making the same moves I see a lot of entertainers are taking. Dino Crazy was quite popular as a comedian, and he became an artist. He's having parties, he's a promoter, he's getting Flow deals, he's an ambassador for Flow. I believe Voldemort too was an ambassador for Bigger. They're businessmen and they're doing what they have to do. And so I feel like it was the best approach that he did not respond to those slanderous and out of order comments, because that would take away from his brand. What I want to tell everybody in the entertainment industry, in fact every other industry, you don't need to belittle or to be rude to someone because of moves they are making. If that concerns you, maybe you should look into yourself, because guess what? The crab in a barrel thing is going to hold down everybody. Once you try to hold somebody else down, you're not able to move either, because you're busy holding someone else down.
I just don't want nobody here to feel like cheating is okay, or if somebody cheats it's okay to be with them. No, I am working on myself. In the same time, I am working on my marriage. I'm not just working on my marriage, I'm working on myself, and I'm working on my marriage. And it's so funny, sometimes them say things have to happen for you get the greater side of people. My husband never believed in counseling, and look at him, interested even more.
Now, the final thing that I will be discussing is the Crissy and Seymour Carter relationship slash marriage. Now, it seems to me that they are indeed on the mend and they are working through their marital issues with the assistance of counseling. Now, I understand that a lot of persons might say, oh, they're playing a dolly house or a puppy show or whatnot. But what we have to remember is that marriage is for better or for worse, and it is through thick and thin. And she also highlighted that, listen, she is not encouraging cheating at all. But at the end of the day, this is her reality. They have 4 children together. They've been married for a while. They are used to each other. That is her home. He is her home. And so, as a woman, when you find yourself in that kind of a situation, it forces you to go into fight mode, because flight mode, which is leaving, is not an option for her, because she has 4 children, one of which is, well, 2 of them are actually quite young, and so she's mommy to them, and so she has to stay strong for them and continue to put on a good face, all the while still trying to mend the relationship with her husband, because yes, it still is her husband. It is good that the husband is trying to make amends after cheating, and it is good that she's willing to take them back. At the end of the day, they both made a contract with God that really has nothing to do with the public, and so you see them putting out videos constantly, because guess what, that is their bread and butter. They need to have a roof over their head, they need to have running water, internet, electricity, food on the tables. The kids still need to go to school. They may have car payments. The car needs to be licensed, insured, it needs gas, etc. And so it's very unique, their situation. It's very complicated because their business, their brand is actually wrapped up in the marriage. And so he can't leave just like that, and she can't leave just like that either, because I can imagine having a male presence in the house is quite helpful and necessary for herself and her children. So, with that being said, I will indeed continue to keep up with the Carters, and on that note, please take care of yourselves.